It's spooky season, so of course I've chosen a real spooky movie for you with lots of crazy gore and violence and just blood everywhere. And all right, so this one's more for the kids. This is Frankenweenie, but kids like to celebrate Halloween too, so I have to do a couple things that are for everybody. And luckily, Tim Burton made a movie that he had already made a short off of. But, you know, if he wants to remake his own shit, he's Tim Burton. Who's going to stop him? Right? It's on Disney Plus. It's got audio description. um, so it's fully accessible. And it's a little morbid. I'm not gonna lie. If you're unfamiliar with Frankenweenie, jumping into this conversation, it's obviously the story of Frankenstein from a child's perspective. So, what might a child want to bring back to life? Maybe his best friend, a pet, perhaps, like a dog. Maybe in this case, a dog named Sparky. So, at the beginning of the movie, Sparky's alive. So, something's going to have to happen to Sparky in this film in order for him to need to be brought back to life. Just as a hint to parents, you have to at least be ready for that. It is a Disney movie. It's like a full-on Disney movie. Like the whole castle comes out at the beginning and everything. So a lot of stuff happens off screen. This is not nearly as crazy and gory as it could be with, animals being hit by cars and stitched back together and all that stuff on screen. It's still PG, but this is definitely something that if Tim Burton had wanted to, could have at least gone for PG-13. And then he would have lost the little Disney logo at the beginning, but he could have gone for it. He doesn't. He tries to keep this light and fluffy despite the many reanimations that happen in this film. This is technically my second time watching it, although I didn't remember this at all. The funny thing is, I remember watching the original short film more than I remember watching this film. I remember as a kid, my library had Frankenweenie on VHS, and my mom rented it for me back in the day, and I thought that was amazing. I was like, oh my god, what is this? This is cool. And it didn't feel like it was too much for me back then. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I can't handle this. So, to see the fact that it's been turned into like a kind of a stop motion style film, but it's not really stop motion, is, it is what it is. Now that I'm blind, the stop motion stuff impresses me even less, but it's also, I don't believe this is actually stop motion, so I said stop motion style, because I think Frankenweenie was actually just filmed. I don't think they actually took the time to make it like they have some of the other films like Nightmare Before Christmas that have Tim Burton's name on it. This also has, according to IMDb, almost no voice cast, despite the fact many people speak in this film. They managed to, 10 people did all of the voices, which is kind of amazing. But we've got Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Martin Short, sort of the big draws here. Charlie Tahan. I love that Martin Landau plays somebody named Mr. Rice Krispie. Uh, there's so many Frankenstein references here. There's like a Van Helsing character. Um, there's sort of a character that could easily be attributed to being in like an Igor-esque type character. So the it's really kind of like Frankenstein for kids, but in walks Mr. Rice Krispie, and I'm like, who is Mr. Rice Krispie? What is what is he trying to say with this name and this person? Because I'm pretty certain when I read Frankenstein, which I've read, the book, the original book, I've read it. I don't remember there being a Mr. Rice Krispie, so that reference just lost me. Um, yeah, it's definitely a name. It's a choice, Mr. Rice Krispie there. Anyway, and it's said so many times in the narration too. It's really funny to hear that. I love the audio description here too, because there are times when characters are undefined. So there's like Weird Girl is constantly named as Weird Girl. She's never given a name, so she's just Weird Girl. Like Weird Girl shows up and it's like, "Hey, Weird Girl, what's up?" She's just there, being weird. All right then, you do you with your creepy cat. So, yeah, this is all right. It's not my favorite film in the world, but I don't have a review up of it, so I decided to do a review, and I didn't remember the film at all, so it was like watching it for the first time. I didn't remember how they managed to stretch what was essentially a short film into, yeah, I guess, feature length. I mean, this film does have credits, so they claim the runtime is a little bit longer. And Tim Burton must have the slowest credits in the world, because I tapped out. I tapped out at the 1 hour 20-minute mark. So that was where I thought the movie ended. This movie claims to have a slightly longer running time than that. I challenge that. So anyway, I recognized the narrator's voice. It was Laura Post, so I didn't really need to stay to the end. And I'm gonna guess it's probably Deluxe that did the narration, based on the fact that Deluxe does a lot of narration for Disney titles, especially the age of the title and everything. So I had a pretty good understanding of like who and what did this, and I was like, I don't know if I want to sit through. It's going to need a lot of credits to get to that runtime that it supposedly says that it has on IMDb. And that's asking a lot of me to watch like 10 minutes of credits just to sit there and listen to the end when I'm like, I recognize that voice. I know who this is. I'm not that interested in these credits. So, it's fine. Your kids might like it. And I don't think it'll scar them nearly as much as some of the other titles that I could have reviewed in this area. I still might review them. I don't know, but October is a long month, and I'm gonna keep trying to churn out reviews of all sorts for all different platforms. And I'm really interested in reviewing Coraline, which your kids may be legit. I saw that in theaters, and there were kids crying. Like, it was fun. So, Frankenweenie is, I don't know, it's for people who like dogs. There's some moments in there that are gonna be like, I don't like this. I'm not good with this. But just remember, when something bad happens to Sparky, the whole point of the movie is he has to be brought back to life. So, that's what the movie's about. It's called Frankenweenie. I don't really know why it's the weenie part, because he's not a weenie dog. I think he's that type of dog that they use in those Budweiser commercials or whatever. But whatever. It's a boy and his dog story. So, just wrapped in Victor Frankenstein. He's actually called Victor Frankenstein, so there's something. I've said more than enough that I've wanted to say about this film, which is not that much. It's alright. It's alright. It's fine. Tim Burton's made better films. Honestly, if you can find the short film, I think the original short film that Tim Burton made before anybody knew who Tim Burton was is better than this. This one, I feel like he has so many expectations riding on him that he's just like, I'm just trying to make a more accessible, easy to find version of the film that I already made that is a little bit longer. Done. And that's it. So I'm gonna wrap it up and give Frankenweenie a B-. It's all right. It's pretty good. It's not great, but it's you know, your kids need creepy stuff to watch over Halloween too. It's family friendly and approved, and isn't going to traumatize them for the rest of their lives. Terrifier 2, probably not great for 6-year-olds. So that's it. Hopefully you click subscribe, because I need subscribers. I'm trying to break 200 this year. So thanks for watching. I also have a website. It's MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know where to find whatever movie it is you're looking for and find it with audio description. And you can go to theadna.org and you can look up Laura Post and see what else she's done the narration for. That's it for me today. I will watch something else for you guys and see you on the other side. The other spooky side.